Pledge allegiance, followed by a short invocation. Ms. Chandler, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Father God, right now we just want to pause and say thank you for allowing us to come here to the village of Woodlawn to do the business that is set forth for us. Lord, we ask right now that you give a special blessing to those that were affected in our fire here in the village of Woodlawn. We ask that you protect them and shelter them. We ask that you go into each household that is represented in this village as well. Touch them in a mighty way. And these blessings we ask in thy son Jesus' name is for his sake. Amen.
Amen.
Roll call, please.
Mayor Poole,
Present.
Esther Boyd, Rosemary Brown, she is absent today. May I have a motion to excuse?
We will. Go ahead, keep moving. We'll get that at the end.
Cindy Chandler,
Present.
Pamela Fitzgerald. Present. Robert Lawson.
Here.
Michelle Starr.
Present.
Very well. I need a motion to excuse Ms. Rosemary Brown from tonight's meeting.
I'd like to make a motion to excuse Councilmember Rosemary Brown from tonight's meeting.
I'll second it.
Motion been moved and properly second. All ayes?
Aye.
Very well. Reading and disposal of previous minutes, the regular council meeting, August the 27th, 2024. Are there any corrections, deletions, or additions to the minutes in front of us tonight?
I have none.
All right, having none, I do need a motion for approval of those minutes from August 27th, 2024.
I'll make a motion to approve the council meeting minutes from August 27, 2024.
I'll second that motion.
Motion been moved and properly second. All ayes?
Aye.
Very well. All right. Special council meeting, September 17, 2024. Are there any corrections, deletions, or additions to the minutes in front of us tonight? If there are none, I do need a motion to approve the minutes in front of us.
I'll make a motion to approve special council meeting minutes from September 17, 2024.
Is there a second on the motion?
I'll second it.
Motion been moved and properly second. All ayes?
Aye.
Very well. All right. Committee, commission reports. I am going to report for Ms. Rosemary, the Committee of the Whole, as well as BZA and Planning. Both her and I are on together. And the Committee of the Whole, we met on September the 10th, 2024. Members present was myself, Esther Boyd, Rosemary Brown, Cindy Chandler, Pamela Fitzgerald, Robert Lawson, and Michelle Starr. In that meeting, Joey Hood from CT Consultants, which is our village engineer, he came and met with us. We had some questions not only from council but from the public as well concerning the street improvement on Ronnie and Woodstock. And we did have where Mr. Hood is going to provide a summary of costs and images of a French drain, possibly for that area on Woodstock and or Ronnie Road. So he's going to get that to us, or he's going to be providing that to our village manager, and he will get that out to us. Fingerprinting in the police department, there has been an increase in the service itself, so we feel really good about residents inside of Woodlawn as well as outside having the ability to come into the police department to receive background checks. The school zone at Idea School, I believe, is complete now. Would I be correct on that? Just by the, okay. That is complete up on that hill. So again, that is another school zone that is here in the village, and we just ask that, again, we watch our speed in those zones. We are in the process of adding 3 additional officers and 1 cadet in the police department, and they are all within the first step of that process. There was some concerns of dumping on the Grove Road at the Lee Crest Drive, and that area will be surveillance, continued surveillance up in that area as well. There was a question in terms of who does the psychological reporting for candidates that are in the police department. Pradco handles that. There was a checkpoint here in the village, but again, we just want to stress that when checkpoints come through the village, that is not an initiative that comes from the police department, but in fact, it comes from the state of Ohio. As we all know, Route 4 is a state route, and so they have the control to put those in place, and we just follow along with the directive that is given from the state level. Ms. Banks provided us with a number of things that is happening in the service department with going into private properties that have not been cut, and that is a process in terms of how those charges will be assessed to the property owner. The fire department, again, Chief Johnson and his team are working very hard in terms of bringing a transport service to the village. It is up and going as we speak. Though those contracts are being signed, and we look for that to really just take off and run. I don't want to share too much in terms of, I'm looking at the fire department about the fire that just recently happened. I'm going to leave that for the chief if we have any questions, but I do know that no one, I see the face, no one, loss of life up there, no injuries except a small injury from our firefighter, but all got out of that fire very safely. All right, that was the gist of that meeting. Any questions from the committee of the whole minutes? BZA and planning. BZA had a case of the Century Inn. We're all familiar with the Century Inn. BZA, there was a request for a variance approval to permit a pole sign on the existing pole that is already there. That body, the BZA, moved to approve the variance to permit a pole sign with more than the height that is permitted and a less setback that is required on the property. Again, we did move to approve that for Century Inn. Planning and BZA is kind of, it comes together with the BZA. It comes first and then it goes to planning. Again, the agenda item on there was from Century Inn for conditional use approval of 2 variable message signboards and modification to this current sign that is already in place. Again, those were approved through BZA and planning. So those are the only cases that were presented to BZA and planning. Are there any questions for committee of the whole, BZA and or planning?
Yes, I have a question.
Sure.
There's a comment that Chief Williams made that there have not been any traffic accidents attributed to the signs. Can you or him provide clarity on why and why is that?
Say that again, Michelle.
There's a statement that Chief Williams made that there have been no accidents.
Where should I go, Michelle, to read that real quick? Should I go in the?
Right where you were, on the BZA.
Oh,
There's a
BZA.
statement right there where you
Okay.
were.
I think that's
So-
related to planning and zoning with the sign over at Century Inn.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry, Michelle. So the question is, and I brought that question to the floor, I'm always concerned about anything that will challenge the traffic flow. Is it where people will be driving down Route 4? They're just steady looking at the sign. So I always question, has there been a history of any accidents related to people stopping, reading the sign, and the chief shared that there have been none.
Okay,
Yes.
thank you.
Okay. Any other questions? All right. Having none, finance, Ms. Chandler.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. Finance meeting met on September 16th, 2024. The meeting was called to order at 7:08 p.m.
Excuse me, did you miss planning?
No, that's BZA and planning. I went through BZA. They had 2 of the same cases.
Okay.
Yes,
I
ma'am.
just didn't,
Oh,
okay.
I'm sorry.
Okay,
Yeah.
plan,
Okay.
Sorry.
Oh,
Did you have
you're
a
fine.
question? Real quickly, Ms. Chandler, did you have a question?
I can hold, I can wait.
Well,
No,
we're
no.
there,
Go.
so.
We're there. Go.
Okay, let's see.
Tell me where you're at, so I can
Just
follow
under,
along.
under the planning commission,
Okay.
where you're talking about, landscaping and, the cabinets.
Landscaping.
Yeah, this is-
One moment. So, let me get there. I'm getting there. I'm getting there. Okay, I'm on the first page. Should I be there?
Yeah,
Okay.
on the planning.
Mm-hmm.
Just for us and the residents who did not attend that meeting,
Mm-hmm.
the basics in, I don't know, basic English, what a summary of what happened or what came out of that.
All right, so in planning, when those cases come to us, it's for a couple reasons. It's for an approval that we're approving a variance, meaning that it could be something in our code that says that they can't do that currently, and so we look at that. I'm trying to follow along so I know exactly where you're at. I'm on the first page? Okay, go ahead. And then it talks about would meet the zoning requirements for a maximum of one digital camera, cabinet, is that where you're at? Okay. And so if I don't want to read that verbatim,
no,
because I'm not
yeah.
for sure of the
Right.
exact number.
Yeah.
But for instance, it could only be 30 inches. It could be a 30-inch cabinet. That means the cabinet, the sign cabinet can only be 30 inches. They may be requesting a 40 inch, so that is a variance, okay?
Okay.
When it talks about landscaping, some businesses require landscaping part of their plan, but because of where that is, it's not feasible to have any landscaping, because if you recall, if you could just put your mind there, coming around that bend, you're really in that lot. Does it make-
Okay.
Get it?
All right.
Got it?
Gotcha. Thank
Okay.
you.
All right. And I'm sorry, Ms. Chandler.
Oh, you're fine.
Sorry about that.
Thank you. Thank you for your question. So, a Finance Committee meeting met on September 16th, 2024. The meeting was called to order at 7:08 p.m. Members present were myself, Pamela Fitzgerald, as well as Michelle Starr. Also present were Lauren Crisp, Charles Willis, Ashley Madden, Esther Boyd, Rosemary Brown, as well as Robert Lawson. I will not go into the meat of Finance Committee as Mr. Crisp will under his finance report, but just to give you some highlights, we were given an income tax update by Charles Willis, and he reported that the village collected $626,249 in taxes related to the month of August. Of that amount, $3,411 was deposited into the village treasury in August, and the remaining $622,838, which was a gross amount, was deposited in September. As far as receipt listings, the total amount reported, we reported $1,975,088.88 under receipt listings. Under payment listings, we reported $1,003,320.35. And finally, the bank reconciliation, we adjusted the bank balances as of August 31st, 2024, in the amount of $7,701,022.37. Are there any questions?
Good job. All right. All right, very well. Municipal Manager's Report.
Thank you. Just a few updates for the council and the public. Juneteenth 2025, the draft agreement has been provided to council, and we'll discuss that at a special meeting on September 30th. Lee Crest Road and Redmond Terrace, Chester Road. Lee Crest is going to be bid out for next year. Redmond Terrace and Chester Road are being worked on now. We had a little bit of a lag. Duke Energy wanted to do some work related to gas lines on those roads while we were tearing the road out. As they were doing those, they had a third-party contractor that was helping them with it. And so our Harry Holbert, who we contracted with, was staying on top of that for us. And as we sit right now, they believe all of that work will be done by the end of the week, which will allow our road contractor, Atleta, to begin the actual heavy lifting of the road work and repaving. Still looks like that job will be done by the end of the year, and I always say weather permitting. So that's really good news for the businesses and us. Lawn and leaf pickup, the Public Works Director has drafted a schedule of lawn and leaf pickup dates. We'll send the information out to the public here in very short order. We are still trying to ensure that we're able to rent a chipper shredder for some of that work, so we're still trying to get that down, but looks like we should be able to start that here very soon. Road work on Ronnie and Woodstock. I know Mayor had read some of that in the Committee of the Whole report. Have been in contact with CT consultants. They are finalizing estimates for some of the alternative solutions, as well as gathering some additional research. We should have some additional information for the council and the residents here very soon. I don't want to I don't want to promise anything, but we actually do believe we'll have that by the end of the week. So that's I'm being cautiously optimistic. Hamilton County Revitalization Grant. Again, we received the grant for the new chipper shredder. We did order that. It's like so many things, there's a delay on it. So we should have that, probably in December when we don't need it, which is why we're looking to rent one currently. Let's see. We're kind of in the same place with the Springfield Pike and Greenidge improvements, as well as the Lane Avenue improvements and Glendale Milford Road improvements. Those are all being drafted to be bid out, probably for next year. Regional Safety Complex. I did receive an email that they will have a groundbreaking ceremony for the Regional Safety Complex here in October. So that's, again, really good news. They're still looking to have that project completed in April of 2026. But again, it's just always nice to see that stuff is moving along. The groundbreaking to me is still another victory in that whole process. Tri-State Trails had an additional meeting last week where they were, a couple weeks ago, where they were reviewing some of the potential trail maps. I did attach those to your report if anybody wishes to review them, but it does give you an idea of where the proposed trails might go, as well as some alternatives. It's really interesting information if you have time to go through it. It's kind of a cool read to see how they want to connect everything. But they are still working on that. Again, that's a slow process, but when that's done, it's going to be a great amenity for Hamilton County. Neighborhood Allies will be back in the village of Woodlawn on October 11th. So if you have anybody that you know that needs a little bit of help, please send them our way at the rec center. They'll be here on October 11th. Fire Department, as we've discussed, there will be an addendum to our Medi-Count contract that will allow us to take advantage of the, I'll forget the acronym, of the Ambulance Supplemental Payment Program. That'll be on the agenda tonight for approval. So that will allow us to collect additional money for EMS transports. Buildings and other issues. OKI reviewed the grant application related to Springfield Pike. It did not score high enough to receive funding this year. We missed it by about 3 points. It's kind of tough, and it was interesting. I talked to Eric Anderson over at KZF, which is our engineering firm that worked on that with us. And those applications are, all grants are competitive. They're all hard to get. That one's a little bit more difficult in the sense that there's some years when everybody scores really high and some years where everybody's kind of like in the middle. This was a year everybody scored really high. So I think if it was last year, we'd have made it. But it was really nice. OKI did sit down with us and kind of go through it. gave us some ideas and pointers to reapply, and that was really valuable. We will still go ahead and apply for funding to do a traffic study on Springfield Pike, as that will continue to provide us with valuable information as we plan going forward. And then as we round third base and head for home, the village provided with a contract and other materials related to debt, which was subsequently forwarded to our bond attorney, who's here tonight. Legislation related to the debt agreement will be on the agenda for tonight. That debt agreement will allow us to purchase 2 new pickup trucks for Public Works, along with a dump truck as well as a police SUV. So great stuff there. Glendale Milford Road, as everybody is aware, we have shut down a lane on Glendale Milford Road because of a potential sinkhole that is starting to occur. CT Consultants as well as Harry Holbert have been working quite diligently with the utility companies to determine if any of the utilities are at fault for the sinkhole. All studies we have done thus far seem to indicate that none of the utilities are at fault. We are working to put together some materials to have that repaired. Just again, talking with CT, they don't believe that this repair will be more than $75,000, so it will not need to come before council. We're just working on finding contractors and mobilizing a crew to get over there and fix it up.
Gotcha.
When that might take place?
I'm sorry?
You know when that might take place? Is that something a
It's,
month from now?
I would hope so.
Okay.
Again, it just depends on how quickly we can get on a contractor's book. I know we're looking really hard at Atlanta because they're obviously over on Redden and Chester already, so that helped with mobilization. Also looking at Ford Development, that's just done such great work in the village. If that's something they can do really quick and knock it out, we're always happy to have them here.
Okay.
Did you say, Tim, that was going to be a quick fix?
We're hoping it can be moved along quickly. The challenge is finding a contractor that isn't busy currently. So we're trying to kind of work the odds to our favor. Again, Atletta's already here working on Redden and Chester, so they might be able just to handle it for us. And like I said, Ford Development, they do a lot of work for us. And if that's something that they can just knock out quickly, we're happy to have them over here. But looking at those two specifically, just trying to get them in fast. But again, it'll kind of depend on what their book of business looks like right now. So as quickly as we can get it done, we'll get it done.
So, yeah, I wasn't really focusing more on the timing of completion. I was more focusing on the root cause. So if there's a quick fix now, is there potential for risk for it to happen again?
So that's a good question, right? So one of the reasons that we had contacted the utility companies and had pushed them so hard is because it seems like the fault is around some of the utility lines. And so normally when that happens, you're looking for, a water line that's leaking or some kind of a mistake with a gas line or something like that. And from everything we can tell and everything that they're scoping can tell, they don't see it. Now, once you tear the road up and look at it, sometimes you figure it out then. The other thing is sometimes there's a natural underground water issue that we need to handle. But those are things we're not going to know until we break the road out.
Right.
So that's kind of where we're at the moment. National Fitness Campaign, we met via Zoom with the National Fitness Campaign originally about a month ago. And we talked about this very briefly, I think, at the last committee of the whole. They are in the process of installing outdoor fitness courts throughout, actually, the country. But there are currently 2 of them over in Forest Park. There's one in Miami Township. They're really very interesting assets to these communities. And so I have a link to a video there if council wishes to view it if you haven't done so already. There's grant money available to put these in. We've kind of looked at where one might fit into the village, and we're really looking very hard kind of over at the around the ball field area, right where the pedestrian bridge is, kind of that where we had some of the old fitness equipment, the purple equipment, if you can remember.
Yeah.
I thought that'd be a really nice place for it. It gets a lot of traffic. It's close to the hike and bike trail. The campaign thought that would be a wonderful place as well. But it would provide an extra amenity to the recreations department. There's very little upkeep on these. So we're kind of just moving forward and looking at the potential of putting one in.
Mayor, I have a question for the
Sure.
So will that be in addition to the fitness equipment that's there, or will that equipment that's currently there be taken out and replaced with the new?
So it's a good question. I just talked about the size of it, and you can get kind of two sizes. One's about half the size of a tennis court, and the other one's the full size. I think that's a question we need to ask. Do we want to leave the equipment that's there? So maybe we kind of tinker around with where we want to place it. Otherwise, you probably need to remove what's there to put this in. I know that what's there, I think a couple pieces have already been removed, if I'm not mistaken. I thought there were more than the two that were there originally. But I think it's stuff that we can kind of talk about as we kind of determine whether this is something we want to place into the village. We just want to kind of get council thinking about it, get your thoughts on it.
Right.
Again, I know some of you have watched the link. It really is a really cool
Pretty
amenity
cool.
to have.
Have, I have a question. Have the residents been surveyed to see what they would want in those courts, or no?
So the courts are only built a couple of ways, right? So the half court is kind of, the way I would, I'm trying to figure out how to describe this. Kind of like, you know, the old Ninja Star series. It has a lot of things where you can kind of use your own body weight as a resistance exercise. So there are pull-up and chin-up bars, things to lay on to do crunches, things of that nature. If you get the double, it has that court as well as a flat court that you could do like outdoor yoga on and things of that nature. So again, I think it's a really interesting amenity to look at. I would encourage council to view the video link.
It's pretty cool.
And also you can visit Forest Park and look at theirs as well.
Yeah.
But the other really interesting thing about it is that when you build these, there's kind of like a little half wall, and that half wall is normally painted by like local artists. So it really helps put the village's or the municipality's identity onto that court. So it's really a neat piece for the community.
Good. Okay.
And I did kind of talk to CT about potential grants to kind of help offset some of the cost of that. The initial grant for this thing covers maybe a quarter of it, maybe a little less. So I think the price on these all in, the half court's like $193, the full court is $250, round numbers. I don't want to take all that out of the general fund, but I think if we can get some grant money from We Thrive or the capital budget bill, that'd be a nice use for it.
Right.
Hamilton County Community Development Department is in the process of developing a consolidated plan for the next 5 years. The plan helps the department determine how it might better serve individuals, families, and communities with funding the county receives from HUD. The survey only takes 5 minutes to complete. Topics include housing, job creation, infrastructure, and social services. The Community Development Department would appreciate it if residents would complete the survey. I did send this link out to council when it originally came to me. We should also have that up on the website for the community to complete. Excuse me. I also met with Hamilton County last week and was informed of a new program for homeowners in Hamilton County to receive low-interest loans for home repairs. That program was officially implemented today. A press conference related to this program took place this afternoon. The program is called Revive and Thrive. It helps homeowners making less than 80% of area median income. So if you're a single person, that's less. It's $58,700 or less. They help them secure loans with an interest rate of 2%. So that's a great rate today. And those loans can be between $5,000 and $25,000, and they are to perform home repairs. And examples of those repairs include removal of hazardous material, structured support, doors, windows, electrical repairs, and other maintenance. So please do take advantage of that. They're partnering with Habitat for Humanity, working in neighborhoods, local initiatives, support coalition, as well as others. And you can apply for those by calling 211. So we just call 211 on your phone and ask for the Hamilton County Loan Program or Revive and Thrive. They should get you to the right place. Or you can apply by visiting Hamilton County's website. So If you need home repairs, please do apply to that.
And you said this will be on the website?
It's on, yeah, so we'll post this on Woodlawn's website as well,
Okay.
but you'll be able to apply for funding through Hamilton County's website. We'll try to post a link to that, but also if you just call 211 on your phone and tell them you'd like information on Revive and Thrive, they should transfer you to the right place.
Good information, thank you.
Also, just a couple quick notes. Tomorrow, there will be a Meet the Candidates night over at the Recreations Department. It's sponsored by the Democratic Party. The Recreations Director, as well as staff, have been getting several calls asking if Vice President Harris or Tim Walz will be speaking at that. They will not. Please don't come expecting that, but there are several county and state representatives that would like to speak to you. Village Council, I would ask you to please watch the fraud training course put out by the Auditor of State. That needs to be viewed by September the 28th. I will send the link back out. If you want to watch it after the meeting tonight, I can pull it up on here. But any of you who have not watched that, please do. You have to remain in state compliance.
What was the deadline again?
Saturday, the 28th. So I'll send the link back out tonight so you have it in the morning. But again, if anybody wants to stay after tonight, I can pull it up on the big screen in the conference room.
Okay.
We're only sending that to Emily, correct? Not to you? Because I only forwarded my
completion.
completed,
The
So
completion.
The
it comes to me.
or it comes to you?
It'll
Yeah.
come to me.
Okay.
But I
I
did
thought the
send it.
instructions were to send, I sent it to
I think
Emily.
I forwarded it to you, though.
Yeah, you did.
Okay,
But I
Yeah,
did see
I have
yours.
you down. You're good.
okay.
Yes. Do you have, so once those are completed, it'll come to you and it'll show that that individual completed?
I'm sorry, once you view the video, there's a certificate of completion that you need to print out, and then just bring the certificate here,
Okay,
and we'll put it into your personnel file.
okay,
Basically, what has to happen is that we go under state audit, they'll review personnel files,
yes,
and they'll look for those completion
okay,
certificates.
all right. Michelle, did you print yours? If not,
I
you
don't
know,
And
I didn't
back.
know, it's okay.
It's
I forwarded-
digitally, I have it digitally
Yeah,
printed.
Yeah.
Tim can
No
print
worries.
it.
Yeah, I've printed it out.
Yeah,
Okay.
Your file's good.
yeah,
Okay.
you're good, okay.
Yep. And then just one last thing, Mayor Poole and his wife, and as well as Michelle and Pam and
Rosemary,
and,
Rosemary,
I'm missing something, Rosemary, thank you.
yes,
Rosemary, as well as our friends from CT Consultants and Call to Play attended the Valley Interfaith Dinner with us on Wednesday, which is a great thing. If you're not familiar with it, you should check it out. They have a great mission here in the county, in the area. But one of the things that really is kind of made, and I'm going to go off base here, just off page a little bit here. One of the things I just thought was indicative of Woodlawn. We were all sitting at the table, and Mayor Lofty, who's the former mayor of Glendale, and his wife came in and could not find their seat. And Woodlawn made room at their table for the former mayor and his wife. And it's just so indicative of our village that we make room for everybody at our table, and we're friends with everybody, and I love that. I just want to make sure that I spotlight that for us. So,
appreciate that, good
good
stuff,
for,
Thank you.
so Woodlawn should be proud of their
yes,
representatives.
there you go.
Can I also comment on that?
Sure.
That was such a beautiful night with what Valley Interfaith did for the people that they serve. They serve 200 people per week, helping with emergency resources. And those, majority of their people that they're helping are majority the Mauritanians, Hispanics, and then the local, our local zip codes, around 7 zip codes. But now that they've done such a great job, they're now serving all of Hamilton County. And they raised, within 1.5 hours, they raised over $300,000. And that was so beautiful for them to.
Just locally, people in the
Yes.
building.
And they had so many of their members that they helped share their story on receiving help and then staying with the center to give back. And I thought that was so great to not only receive and take, but to give back to the the rest of the community. So thank you, Tim, thank you, Brian, for, allowing us to come to that. I really
You're welcome.
appreciated that.
You're welcome. just to follow up, I did receive an email today. I'm not for sure if you got a copy of that from John.
I
Keeper.
believe I did.
And the total for the entire night, and so they had some where you could go and you could take a picture of the thanks. Thanks,
QR
Pam.
code.
I'm looking at Pam like,
Yeah.
help me. And through that, so once they, finalize those numbers, over $600,000 was raised. So yes, to your point, $300,000 was raised within a very short time while we were sitting there at dinner. And then for the entire function, over $600,000 was raised. So as Michelle said, it is a great organization. It was an eye-opener for me on some things, right? And so I love going into those things, learning different things, but the mission for what they do is just awesome. And so great things that are happening. And my friend down the street, the mayor of Wyoming, shedded some really light. That was one of the things that I took away. We look at people sometimes and we just see them, but we really don't know who they are. And Mayor Monica, her and her husband housed a family for over a year, dedicated to their needs, making sure that they got to where they were, needed to go, got them jobs and all that. So again, that was a very good function, and glad that we were part of that. I agreed to join in, so glad that everybody enjoyed that. So I appreciate that, Tim.
Thank you. And that is all I have to report.
All right, any questions for the manager and his report? Very well. Any communications, petitions, claims for the public, clerk?
Yes.
Very well.
The Graves.
I'm sorry?
The Graves.
The Graves?
You don't need to see.
Very well. All right, well, the Graves is what, 147 Joliet, we know all that, right?
Hello,
Mr. Michael
welcome.
Graves is not a stranger here in the village of Woodlawn, and his lovely wife back there with him. So thank you for coming tonight. I really appreciate that. All right, Finance Director's report.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Cindy went over some of the detail from the report. I'll start in on the second page of the finance report. The 67% through the year at the end of August 2024, the village had collected 60% of the budgeted revenues and expended 40% of appropriations. That was for all funds. The general fund had collected 68% of general fund budgeted revenues and expended 63% of the budgeted expenditures. Receipts and disbursements, we went over those. We went over included fund balance report in the finance committee report. Bank reconciliation report. Well, the receipts and the payments listing and the bank reconciliation are in the packet tonight presented for your approval. We discussed the overtime report. The village spent $30,903 in overtime in the month of August. Police and fire department accounted for 57% and 34% of the overtime charges respectively through August 31st. We reviewed the salary expense report. The village currently spent through August $97,717 less on salaries and benefits to date than in 2024. That percentage decrease is 3% over 3% under 2023. We reviewed the recreation revenue and expenditures. Total revenue from various sources, $83,953. Expenditures, $323,976. For revenues under expenditures of $240,023.
It's in here.
Are you done, Lonnie?
Yeah, thank
So I have, can you share with the residents who are watching and listening why we were under, so much?
Yeah, there was, part of it was timing of the pension payment. We had an extra PRS payment in 2023. And also August of '23, there was at the summer, there was a spike over 2022, so there was kind of a bump in August of '23, and we came back to normal in 2020.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions for Lonnie and Finance? All right, having none, thank you, Mr. Lonnie, I appreciate that. Vice Mayor, it looks like that you need an approval of your receipt listing, payment listing, and bank reconciliation.
Yes, I'd like to ask for a motion for approval of the receipt listing, payment listing, as well as bank reconciliation.
There a second on the motion?
I'll second.
So, is that a motion?
I didn't know she said she needs a motion or.
I'd like to make a motion, excuse me. I'd like to make a motion to approve the receipt listing, payment listing, as well as bank reconciliation.
I'll second.
Motion been moved and properly second. All ayes?
Aye.
Very well. Law Director's report.
Tim covered a lot of the things I was going to cover. I just wanted to reiterate, make sure you get the fraud training done by the 28th. I absolutely 100% think this will be an audit issue the next time around if we don't have it done by everybody. Other than that, I wanted to cover legislation that we have for tonight. The first item we have is our annual salary ordinance. This is the ordinance that makes adjustments to all of our employees with the exception of police and fire, as well as our manager and finance director. Those are all handled by separate ordinances. One thing I want to point out, there was a revision made to this ordinance yesterday. I don't believe that revision made it into packets to council, and that's the effective date of the salary adjustments. They should be July 21st instead of September 1st.
Correct.
So I will need when we get to legislation, I'll need a motion to make that change so that it's in the record.
And what is the date again?
July 21st, 2024. We also have legislation to amend appropriations, to increase appropriations by approximately just under 400,000. We have an ordinance that's going to authorize the village to enter into the master lease equipment purchase agreement that was mentioned earlier to purchase the vehicles that were covered. The village's bond counsel is present if there are any questions on that when we get to it. And we also have a resolution that's going to authorize the purchase of the large truck for the Public Works Department, as well as the equipment that's needed to outfit that truck. That is the only item of the vehicles that's over $75,000, so it's the only one that requires separate council approval. We have a resolution that's going to create some new positions within administration. It would be the assistant to the municipal manager and the municipal facilities manager. And this resolution will approve those job descriptions and the salary ranges. And then there's also a resolution that's going to amend the job descriptions for the positions of assistant finance director, clerk of council, and office administrator. We have a resolution that will authorize the manager to enter into a 3-year agreement with Alloy Development Company. Alloy is our economic development consultant that has worked for the village for many years. In the past, we've done 1-year agreements. This will be a 3-year agreement that will take us through the next 3 years. So we won't have to revisit this every year. And then finally, as Tim mentioned, we have a resolution authorizing the addendum to the EMS billing services agreement with MediCount for those additional billing issues. So, and that's all the legislation. If anyone have any questions about the legislation
I
tonight?
do.
Yes.
Go ahead, Mayor, I thought you
Go,
were
no,
saying
go.
something. Couple of questions. So we have an ordinance that includes all of the positions, which is also inclusive of a position that is a resolution for the facilities manager. My question is, if the ordinance passes, does that automatically make that resolution pass, or I'm looking at it as two
No, if
separate?
council doesn't pass the other resolution, then that item on here will just be void. It won't have any effect, because we won't have that position within the village.
Ms. Michelle?
Resolution 34-2024, authorizing the municipal manager to execute the EMS billing and services. Why is, can you just clarify for me and some of the other residents who may not know, why is there an addendum to that?
Well, we already had an existing agreement
Okay.
with MediCount. They do all of our EMS billing. So
Okay,
this,
so that's separate from this resolution?
yes, this is just
I
going
gotcha.
to add on an
Okay.
additional item that they can then process.
Okay, I thought they were together, so they're not.
So there's already an existing contract.
All right,
Yes.
thanks.
Yeah, and the addendum allows us to take advantage of the ambulatory services program that will go into effect this year.
Okay, thanks.
Any other questions? No? All right. A couple of things that, again, we hear this from me every month, talking about school zones. I witness this on a daily basis. Kevin, I know your team is out there because I see them. But again, this is just for the public, that I just urge you that we need to watch our speed on Riddle Road, and in these neighborhoods where our students are catching buses in the morning. I've seen where we've increased our patrol in the IDEA school area, so I'm liking that as well. But again, we need to watch our speed coming up Glendale Milford Road or traveling either north or south on Chester Road. The fire that happened on last week, myself, I've reached out to Vice Mayor today. We talked about something that I kind of want to move forward. She's going to assist me with that. Chief, we're going to get you involved with that. I think that you'll be the great point for that. But it was, to my understanding, and correct me if I'm wrong, 32 units were affected by that fire. Is that correct, by the number, 32?
Initially 32, but it's down to 12.
Okay, good.
21 people.
Okay. Again, no lives were lost up there, but we do know for a fact that one of the apartments, I believe that apartment was at the top floor. That young man is a student at Princeton High School. And so we want to reach out and make sure that those families that were affected by that fire, we're going to come up with some kind of idea to raise some funds for that. And so myself and Vice Mayor will get with you on that. So look for a call here in the next day or so we can kind of, let's just hash that out. But again, we're going to continue to keep them in prayer because, again, they lost everything in that fire. Seeing the pictures, the video from the chief, I'm just amazed at what we do here in Woodlawn. But hats off to your team. That was a horrible, horrible fire up there. It could have been worse, right? But again, I'm glad that everybody came out safe with that as well. I talked about the Valley Interfaith. We all kind of talked about that, the excitement behind that. That is something that I'll probably agree to on a yearly basis. When I agreed to that, didn't know exactly what I agreed to, but I thought it sounded great, and I'm glad that I did. So again, those that came out with me, I'm so excited about having that in the years to come as well. I don't have anything else. There, and so we're going to move right on. Vice Mayor, I do need an approval of my monthly Mayor's Court statement, please.
Sure. I'd like to make a motion to approve the mayor's court monthly statement in the amount of $22,495.
I'll second it.
The motion been moved and properly second. All ayes?
Aye.
Very well. Very well. We'll move right into legislation, please.
First item is ordinance 26, 2024, an ordinance establishing and affirming the salaries and compensation of all offices and positions in the village of Woodlawn and declaring an emergency. The first item I'll need here is a motion to amend the ordinance to reflect an effective date of July 21st, 2024.
I'd like to make a motion to move the effective date of July 1st, 2024. 21st.
Yes.
Of July 21st, 2024. Too many 20s and too many ones.
There's a second on the motion.
I'll second.
No, yes, all ayes.
All right. All right, motion been moving.
Was that Mr. Lawson?
Yes. Motion been moving properly second. All ayes?
Aye.
Very well. I need a motion to suspend the rules for ordinance number 26, 2024.
I'll make a motion to suspend the rules for ordinance number 26-2024.
I'll second it.
The motion been moved and properly second. Roll call on the suspension, please.
Esther Boyd,
Aye.
Cindy Chandler,
Aye.
Emma Fitzgerald. Aye. Robert Lawson,
Aye.
Michelle Starr.
Aye.
Very well. I need a motion for passage of ordinance number 26, 2024.
I'll make a motion for passage of ordinance number 26-2024.
I'll second it.
Motion been moved and properly second. Roll call on the passage, please.
Esther Boyd,
Aye.
Cindy Chandler,
Aye.
Emma Fitzgerald. Aye. Robert Lawson,
Aye.
Michelle Starr.
Aye.
Very well. I need a motion declaring an emergency to ordinance number 26, 2024.
I'll make a motion to declare an ordinance for
An emergency.
emergency for number 26-2024.
I'll second.
Motion been moved and properly second. Roll call on the emergency, please.
Esther Boyd,
Aye.
Cindy Chandler,
Aye.
Emma Fitzgerald.
Aye.
Robert Lawson,
Aye.
Michelle Starr.
Aye.
The next item is ordinance 27, 2024, an ordinance amending appropriations for the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2024.
All right. I need a motion to suspend the rules for ordinance number 27, 2024.
I'll make a motion to suspend the rules for ordinance number 27, 2024.
I'll second.
Motion been moved and properly second. Roll call on the suspension, please.
Cindy Chandler,
Aye.
Emma Fitzgerald.
Aye.
Robert Lawson,
Aye.
Michelle Starr.
Aye.
Esther Boyd.
Aye.
Well, I need a motion for passage of ordinance number 27, 2024.
I'll make a motion for passage for ordinance number 27, 2024.
I'll second the motion.
Motion been moved and properly second. Roll call on the passage, please.
Cindy Chandler,
Aye.
Emma Fitzgerald. Aye. Robert Lawson.
Aye.
Michelle Starr.
Aye.
Esther Boyd.
Aye.
Very well.
Next item is ordinance 28, 2024, an ordinance authorizing the village of Woodlawn, Ohio to enter into property schedule number 2 to a master equipment lease purchase agreement by and between Flagstar Public Funding Corp. and the village of Woodlawn, Ohio to finance the purchase of vehicles for the village of Woodlawn and authorizing other documents in connection therewith and declaring an emergency.
Very well. I need a motion to suspend the rules for ordinance number 28, 2024.
I'll make a motion to suspend the rules of ordinance number 28, 2024.
I'll second.
Motion been moved and properly second. Roll call on the suspension, please.
Emma Fitzgerald. Aye. Robert Lawson.
Aye.
Michelle Starr.
Aye.
Esther Boyd.
Aye.
Cindy Chandler.
Aye.
Well, I need a motion for passage of ordinance number 28, 2024.
I'll make a motion for passage for ordinance number 28, 2024.
I'll second it.
Motion been moved and properly second. Roll call on the passage, please.
Emma Fitzgerald. Aye. Robert Lawson.
Aye.
Michelle Starr.
Aye.
Esther Boyd.
Aye.
Cindy Chandler, I'm sorry.
Aye. That's okay.
Very well. I need a motion declaring an emergency to ordinance number 28, 2024.
I'll make a motion to declare an emergency for ordinance number 28-2024.
I'll second that motion.
Motion been moved and properly second. Roll call on the emergency, please.
Pamela Fitzgerald. Aye. Robert Lawson.
Aye.
Michelle Starr.
Aye.
Esther Boyd.
Aye.
Cindy Chandler.
Aye.
The next item is Resolution 30, 2024, a resolution authorizing the purchase of a 2025 Freightliner mid-sized truck from FIDA Freightliner Cincinnati and related truck equipment from W.A. Jones Truck Bodies and Equipment.
All right. I need a motion for passage of resolution number 30, 2024.
I'll make a motion for passage of resolution number 30, 2024.
I'll second it.
Motion been moved and properly second. Roll call on the passage, please.
Robert Lawson.
Aye.
Michelle Starr.
Aye.
Esther Boyd.
Aye.
Cindy Chandler.
Aye.
Pamela Fitzgerald. Aye.
The next item is Resolution 31, 2024, a resolution creating the positions of Assistant to the Municipal Manager and Municipal Facilities Manager and approving job descriptions and a salary range therefore.
Mayor,
Question.
yes, I do
Yes.
have a question.
Uh-huh.
I didn't realize that the resolution would have both positions combined. I thought they would be separated out. Is there any particular reason why this is under one resolution?
I typically will group, if there are a number of them, I will group them in one resolution. For example, when we did the various positions for the transport services, those were all in one resolution. When we did the approval of all the job descriptions after they were revamped several years ago, they were all done under one resolution. It's just how we've done it.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you.
I need a motion.
No, not yet.
No, you didn't yet.
Okay. I need a motion for passage of resolution number 31, 2024.
Make a motion for passage of resolution number 31, 2024.
I'll second it.
Motion been moved and properly second. Roll call on the passage, please.
Michelle Starr.
Aye.
Esther Boyd.
Aye.
Cindy Chandler.
Aye.
Pamela Fitzgerald. Aye. Robert Lawson.
Aye.
The next item is Resolution 32, 2024, a resolution amending the job descriptions for the position of Assistant Finance Director, Clerk of Council, and Office Administrator.
Well, I need a motion for passage of resolution number 32, 2024.
Make a motion for approval, passage for resolution number 32, 2024.
I'll second that motion.
Second, motion been moved and properly second. Roll call on the passage, please.
Esther Boyd.
Aye.
Cindy Chandler.
Aye.
Pamela Fitzgerald. Aye. Robert Lawson.
Aye.
Michelle Starr.
Aye.
The next item is Resolution 33, 2024, a resolution authorizing the municipal manager to enter into a 3-year agreement with Alloy Development Company, Inc. to provide economic development assistance to the village.
I
I need a motion for passage of Resolution 33, 2024.
I'll make that motion for passage for 33, 2024.
I'll second it.
Motion been moved and properly second. Roll call on the passage, please.
Cindy Chandler.
Aye.
Pamela Fitzgerald. Aye. Robert Lawson.
Aye.
Michelle Starr.
Aye.
Esther Boyd.
Aye.
Well,
And the last item is Resolution 34, 2024, a resolution authorizing the municipal manager to execute an addendum to the EMS billing and services agreement between the Village of Woodlawn and MedAccount Management, Inc.
I need a motion for passage of Resolution number 34, 2024.
I'll make that motion too for 34, 2024 passage.
I'll second.
Excuse me, motion been moved and properly second. Roll call on the passage, please.
Pamela Fitzgerald. Aye. Robert Lawson.
Aye.
Michelle Starr.
Aye.
Esther Boyd.
Aye.
Cindy Chandler.
Aye.
Well,
Okay, so I double did one.
right,
Let's see.
right, good. Is there any new business that comes before the council?
Wait, so I have a question.
Sure.
Was there?
I just double did one, it's okay.
No, it was the same one.
Okay.
She-
It was the alloy
So
one.
Yeah,
there
it
is
was the
no,
same, it was the same resolution. It was just a correction of the,
but there is no 35.
that's correct.
Okay,
35 will be the next one we do,
okay.
next meeting.
My fault.
All right. Is there any new business that comes before this council? All right, having none, I need a motion for adjournment, please.
I'd like to make a motion for adjournment.
I'll second.
Motion been moved and properly second. All ayes. Very well. Great meeting tonight, team.
Thank you.
Have a
Thank you.
wonderful evening.